And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. It is Friday. Can we believe that? Today is May the 19th. We're more than halfway through the month as we start winding things down. A lot of rain happened last night. We got wet once again, didn't we? Let's look at radar this morning as you're starting to get up. There is a little bit of concern, no rain, but here's what we're seeing this morning, and I'm going to have to fix that. Let's just see if I can manage to do that while we're live. That wasn't that way a moment ago. Let me see if I can do this on the fly and fix this. Okay. All right. We're back to normal. I don't know why that happened that way. My apologies as we get this day started. Let me come back here, and I've got to make another change here. There we go. Things happen. My apologies for all of that as we begin this morning. As you'll see here, we're starting to get a lot of fog here on the west side of Clark County. As we zoom in on this and get a little bit closer here, we'll show that we're already getting heavy right there in Pachuta. All the way over here, we'll have it at Harmony Baptist Church, creeping its way toward the city limits equipment. Now, if you've got to travel anywhere this morning in Jasper County, Smith County, look at this. Here's Silverina down to Taylorsville, over to Mize. Look at all that. And right here, as we get into Bay Springs, there at the Jasper Hospital, look at all of that. Heavy. Even as we get up into Forest, we've already got this on I-20 now. On that eastbound side of where the roadside park is, back past Forest, over to Morton, areas that's on I-20. So be careful. Now, this is going to make its way into Newton County and most likely before the morning is out here in Lauderdale County. So areas to be concerned with. We have a little bit to our northwest if you're going to be up near, let's see here, Lexington and these areas, Moorhead, Mississippi, Sunflower, and the Mississippi Delta. A little bit of fog there. Now to our east, over east of Millery near Thomasville, Alabama, and Uniontown, Alabama, light showers this morning. Nothing horrible, but it is some rain showers. Again, we do have rain chances this afternoon. We'll tell you all about that. It's coming up, so you'll be prepared for that. Let's hear from Brother Ben. It's Friday. Let's go to the First Baptist Church in Collinsville. Get a good word for the day.
Who's the wisest person you know? Wouldn't you like to be like them? Wisdom is the ability to know what's best to do in a situation. Wouldn't you like to be wiser? Well, Scripture says that you can be. We read in James 1 that if any one of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it'll be given to you. His wisdom is deep and rich, y'all. His understanding is infinite and perfect, and God will share that wisdom with you. Should I do this or should I do that? Which is better? Well, ask the Lord for wisdom to make that decision, and He'll provide it for you. But there's only one condition. We must ask for wisdom in full faith without doubting. In other words, God will give us wisdom only if we fully trust that He's wise and able to share that wisdom with us. If we doubt, we shouldn't expect anything from the Lord. But if we ask for wisdom in faith, the Lord will generously give us wisdom, and from His mouth will come knowledge and understanding. So do you lack wisdom? Do you struggle to know what's best to do in a situation? Then in faith, ask the Lord for wisdom. That's the wise thing to do. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Brother Ben Simpson there, head pastor there in Collinsville. Hope you'll visit with them sometime. Sunday morning they'll have church. Hope you can make it by sometime. If you don't have one of your own, if not, pick one close to your house. I'm sure there's one that you'll like. We'll have him back in this morning filling in for Odie, as Odie's out on business this week. Debbie's going to be joining us next week to fill in as we get the week rolling for you then. So a lot going on with us. Now, as we look at headlines across America, let's dig into what's being said. One of the first things that we found out this morning, Jimmy Buffett. Any Parrot Head fans out there? He's been hospitalized. They're not telling what it is. It could be simple. It could be major. The statement that he has only made is growing old is not fun. So we can only imagine what it might be. Hopefully more news will develop out of that. And Jamie Foxx spent several weeks in the hospital. He's in a rehab center now. And as the family is still not spoke about this as to what actually happened, he was filming a movie and was rushed to the hospital. The place that he's at specializes in strokes and things of that nature. Brain rehab. They also do spinal cord surgery, all types of rehab. So he's had something that was probably pretty traumatic he's trying to recover from. So we wish the best to Jamie Foxx also, one of the funniest comedians that you'll bump into. Dorothy Ford, how are you today? I see Julie is up too. Good to see you, Mike Moore, along with Charlotte Gray from Philadelphia joining us there. Richard, how are you today? Got to see Mr. Richard yesterday as we got to talking about the events that are coming up for Memorial Day. That's not long off. Let's not forget why that all happens. One of the things that's happened in Iowa, a guy that went on a chase that had a police officer on a hood. Maybe you've seen that video by now. The police officer held on, high speed. The guy's going to jail for 5 years for that. Now, each morning, I guess you could say I sometimes lean toward a soapbox of things that bother me. To me, there's still right and wrong in this world. There's a barbed wire fence, and you're either on this side or you're on this side, as we see people confused as to which sex they are. Someone who was a male who now identifies as a woman entered the 40 to 49 women's category in bike racing. As we get into this, Megyn Kelly slammed it. I don't know if you watch Megyn or not. At the winner's circle, she was the only one, or he was there. No one else supported it. What happened is growing up, I can remember, and of course you'll even remember back on Little House on the Prairie, back when ladies weren't able to vote, and they marched for that right, women's independence. And what was that movie they had during the 70s? I can't remember, where she worked in the factory for the women's rights. She fought hard, won. And it's almost like women's rights have been taken away by all of this. Am I wrong? For what so many stood for in the past is being taken away slowly but surely by all of this. Do you agree, disagree? It's every day. What's this going to do to the fight over pay raises? How do you identify? Man, woman? I'm confused, and I almost think that, well, something needs to be done to clarify where we are. In Illinois, man is in deep trouble. This is horrible, as I have to tell you this. He lured a teenage girl. She was somewhere between the age of 16 to 17. She collected cups of Pocahontas cups. He invited her to his house, told her he had some collections that he would give her. He strangled her to death. He's getting 50 years. She lost her life. He gets 50 years. Now, yesterday, Meridian, with everything that went on, I didn't get a chance to participate in this. I was supposed to, and I didn't. A drill was handled in the Meridian area. It was earlier. It was actually Tuesday. There were so many things going on. I got my days mixed up. It was Tuesday. Today's Friday, isn't it? They had a drill in Meridian of possibly what happens when everybody's hurt, and they do these exercises to learn who, what, and how. They did one at the military base at NAS Meridian where you have like an active shooter scene, so you rehearse what you would do, and then from there they're rushed to the hospital. That was done here in the Meridian area on Tuesday. And again, I got tied up. I didn't get to take place in it like I was going to. We see now a Detroit hospital worker volunteered to be a person taking part in a similar to what we had in Meridian this week. He's now suing because he just didn't feel that he knew everything there was about this, as people were calling police as he was handcuffed. But again, now he volunteered to be the person that was taken into custody. I don't see where his employer went wrong when he volunteered to be the person for the exercise. I'll leave it alone. DeSantis has all but declared he's running for president of the United States. It's really close. Polls still show he has no chance against Trump. How do you feel about that? Maybe in time, but I'm not sure that this is his time. Most people like him to a degree, but still outfavored this time around to Trump. We'll see what becomes of that also. Disney, as they still fight with him, that we're going to build some housing projects. I think it's going to be close to like $1 billion investment in Florida. They're canceling it because, well, they don't like DeSantis now. Disney has, so to speak, kicked the sleeping bear in Florida, as we all know. They just kept on and kept on. And now all of that's being taken away. They may have to pay taxes like the rest of America does on their land. Wouldn't that be a shame? That's a few of the headlines that are coming about this morning. We got a lot more. So much went on in Meridian yesterday. We've had murder. We've had robbery. We've had someone shot in Philadelphia. We had a big arrest in Newton County yesterday afternoon also. So much we can't even shake a stick at. We've had stores broken into. Did y'all know about all this? Well, we were on it yesterday throughout the day, gathering the information so you would know and know it first and give it to you as accurately. We got all that coming up this morning at 7. Brother Ben's going to be here to help us with that also. That happens then. We'll be right back in just a few moments as we begin this day. We got your forecast next.
No matter how many times you try, and no matter where you call, Representative 81 Steve Horn won't answer the phone. We're not getting any representation in Jackson. District 81, we can do better. Vote Ben Shirley, August the 8th. Paid for by Ben Shirley.
The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built in, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group.
Hello, my name's Kenneth Graham, and I'm running for coroner of Lauderdale County. For over 50 years, Lauderdale County's been represented by professional and competent coroners. I would like to continue that tradition. Over the next several months, I want to educate the public on what the coroner does and dispel any myths about the coroner job. I can show you that I will be the most professional coroner there is. So please vote for me August the 8th.
Paid for by the Committee for the Election of Kenneth Graham.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we begin this day, let's take a look back. 1962 was hot today. 95 degrees is what we had on that thermometer. I had just made it to first grade out at Northeast Lauderdale Elementary School. 1976, it was 42 degrees. No, I don't remember today. I remember going to school, but I do not remember today. As we look back at this today, rain chances somewhere between 86 to 87 is scheduled for today as we go northward. And again, all of this should happen later this afternoon. We're going to have periods of sunshine, and then somewhere around 2, if Mother Nature doesn't change, we'll start seeing the chances of those afternoon forecasts. As we look forward to Alabama, 81, 82 is where we're getting there. Selma, around 80 in Clinton, Alabama. Some of those forecasts, we'll see what becomes of that. As we head to severe weather, now let me explain the map of what we got in store for us. Tonight in the Mississippi Delta, we've got severe weather. And the further north you go, northwest out of the state of Mississippi, the worse it's going to be. Tomorrow, East Mississippi will have its chance of rain. And also, as we look at this now, we've got storms possible, damaging wind gusts up to quarter-size hail. Alabama will be included in this also. Damaging winds up to 60 miles an hour, quarter-size hail, taking in all of Alabama as well under that severe 1, that level 1. It's going to be noon through about 8 p.m. is what we're going to be watching. So if you got events tomorrow, keep this in mind for Mississippi and Alabama. Oh, boy. As we look at this, we're kind of normal on the temperatures now. As you go east into Alabama and eastern Georgia, we're showing that it's cooler, and even northern Florida and into the Carolinas. We've got a little bit of a warm spell out to the west, not much easing into Texas, but due north, if you go across those plains, it's warm up there. As we look at our 7-day forecast, brought to you by Wilson Saw and Outdoor Power. Some great folks there. Today's high, about 87 is what we'll get, down to 66 tonight. Now we're showing that 30% chance. The National Weather Service giving it a little bit more at 40 this morning. Now, either one could change as we move forward. It is Mississippi. As we look at tomorrow, it's coming. Those storms are 60% chance tomorrow. Low of 63 tomorrow night. And by Sunday, it gets better as we go to church. 83 warming up, 20% chance of showers. And look at that 20%. It's hanging around all the way through Wednesday, then down to a 10% chance. But we'll level out, get back into the mid-80s, so to speak, there midweek. As we jump ahead to another week through June the 2nd. Can you believe that? We're getting back to the upper 80s by the end of the month. Around the 27th, 28th, we'll start seeing that. And by the 1st of June, we see 91. Boy, howdy. As we move ahead, let's take a look at what our fishing forecast calls for this afternoon. Chet tells us right around lunchtime, about midway through it, 12:20, 12:15, you need to be at the water. You can fish to nearly 3 o'clock this afternoon. Should be great. The wind's going to be calm, becoming southeast around 5 miles an hour this afternoon with that. Might be a rain chance. You might get damp from time to time as you take your fishing excursion out. Again, May 19th already. Again, we've got a loaded up morning show of all the latest information that's gone on in and around our community. We'll also learn about Run for the Wall that is coming to Meridian. A really big deal as this heads to Washington, D.C. We've got all that coming up this morning. Patrick Kirby's going to be in with us to tell us about it. When they will arrive in town and head to the Lauderdale County Agri Center for a night stay before they head on to Washington. All that's up and coming. I hope you'll join us. It begins sharply at 7 o'clock here, Facebook, YouTube. You can watch us on Twitter. There's another place also. And also television. Fox 30 is where you'll find us on that television set beginning at 7 a.m. Join us any way you can, just so long as you're here. We look forward to it. We'll be back soon here at the Scotty Ray Report.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.